Now to an ABC News exclusive with a juror from the Karen Reed retrial, explaining why she voted to acquit Reed. She spoke with our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, who joined us from Dedham, Massachusetts. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Michael. That juror taking us right inside that jury room, and she said it wasn't a single piece of evidence that convinced her to try to acquit Karen Reed. It was the totality of what she said was the sloppy investigative work that she said made it impossible for the prosecution to prove that Karen Reed hit John O'Keefe with her SUV or that there was even any collision at all.
This morning, after that verdict heard around the country,
as the defendant not guilty or guilty?
a juror explaining why she voted to acquit Karen Reed of that second-degree murder charge for allegedly ramming her SUV into John O'Keefe during a blizzard in 2022.
A collision did not occur. I can't assess the motive to this sloppy police investigation.
And the toughest moment for her? Hearing the derogatory text messages about Reed sent by lead homicide investigator Michael Proctor just hours after he got the case.
It was incredibly hard to hear that language. It was upsetting.
ABC affiliate WCVB speaking to juror number 11, Paula Prado, who initially thought Reed was guilty of manslaughter, but changed her mind as the trial went on.
As the weeks passed by, I just realized there was too many holes that we couldn't fill, and there's nothing that put her on the scene, in our opinion, besides just drop John O'Keefe off.
The defense suggested, but never proved, that O'Keefe may have been killed inside this house owned by Brian and Nicole Albert and mauled by their dog Chloe. The Alberts say they only found out about John's death when Jen McCabe, who is Nicole's sister, barged into their bedroom.
She was just upset, and I immediately thought something had happened to one of her children or one of my children, because why else is she in my bedroom at 6:30 in the morning right now?
And what did she tell you?
She said, John's out front. I think John's dead out front. I said, what the are you talking about, Jen? And I'm like, who? I didn't know.
You still didn't piece it together.
I didn't understand what she was talking about, because why would John be out front of my house?
So massively confusing. There are police officers, EMTs on your front lawn. You're an officer. Why don't you just go outside and investigate or take a look?
I'm not a Canton police officer. I'm a Boston police officer. I was just woken up out of a cold sleep from hanging out the night before. By the time I came downstairs, the police were already in my house. John was already gone. There was nobody to save. I would have taken a bullet for John O'Keefe.
The group, which was together the night John O'Keefe died, speaking out after years of silence to set the record straight.
Why speak out now after the verdict?
We took what we thought was the high road.
Right.
Let the court do its job.
The Alberts deny these allegations and say their children have been targets of threats and harassment by Karen Reed supporters.
Free Karen Reed!
Hold on. Have each of you been called murderers? Like actual murderers?
Oh, yeah, on a daily basis.
There have been threats to your lives. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Whether it's phone calls, text messages, emails, crazy Unabomber type letters to people's houses.
Brian believes the targeting of witnesses in this case sets a dangerous precedent.
And what's the blueprint?
The blueprint is pick out witnesses, destroy their reputations, attack them, malign them, torture their kids, torture anybody that ever knew them, make them not testify. And while doing so, taint the jury pool.
Nicole, you've been very quiet throughout the interview.
Yeah, I'm just very sad. What has happened to all of us, it's just heartbreaking.
Now, the primary blogger who'd been filming and following those families has already been indicted on over 10 counts, and if convicted of witness intimidation, could face up to 20 years in prison. Now, it does not appear at this point that the prosecution is inclined to reopen this case to look for new suspects, and I spoke this morning with the defense, who told me that this case is as, quote, dead as a doornail. Guys.
All right, Matt, thank you so much for that. We appreciate you being there for us.